everyone. A lot of you guys know that I'm obsessed with my coffee, and you guys have been asking me to share what my morning coffee ritual is, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. This is a toddy cold brew that you can buy on Amazon for about 35 bucks. And the one thing I love about cold brew coffee is because I drink a lot of coffee. You know, sometimes I wake up for work at 4 in the morning and it can be a 16 to 18 hour day. And I tend to lean on, caffeine to help me get through that. With all the research I've done and all the every way that I've tried to make coffee, the way that I found that doesn't hurt my stomach is cold brew. And it's 60% less acidic than your regular hot brewed coffee. I also find that it has a smoother taste and doesn't have that bite to it that coffee has because it's more acidic. So this is what I've found works for me. And hopefully it works for you too. So here's your toddy machine. You're gonna have a little stopper, a little rubber stopper that goes in the bottom. And then this is just a filter that you buy with it. And you just pop it right in the bottom like that. So then this is basically ready to have the coffee and the water put in it. So then whatever beans you like, again, with all the trial and error that I've done, these beans, I love these. They're infused with chocolate and a little bit of berry. And they're organic. I find that these make the best cold brew. So whatever works for your palate, do a little trial and error yourself and find out which beans you like. Also, through making tons of coffee, I found that when I put the beans in the grinder, I grind them for 7 seconds. And it's like the perfect grind. They're not too small that they get stuck in this filter and make it so the coffee can't come through the next morning. And they're also not so coarse that you don't get all of the amazing benefits of the coffee out of it. So 7 seconds, you grind the whole bag. This is just an example of a little bit to show you. And then you're just gonna put the grounds in the toddy and add filtered water. For my palate, I found that an entire bag of coffee, when I grind it, I add about 6 cups of water. So that's what I tend to do. The cool thing about these filters is they're reusable. So the next morning after your coffee goes through, you can take the filter, you just rinse it off. And I used to just leave it on the counter to dry. And then I would use it again the next time and the coffee wouldn't go through as easy. And one of my friends told me that she puts it in a Ziploc. This is my little biodegradable Ziploc that I'm obsessed with. She literally puts it in a Ziploc and throws it in the refrigerator. Also, some people do the freezer, but I find that the refrigerator is the best. And then the next time you want to use it, take it out, give it a quick rinse, and then you just pop it right back in the bottom of your toddy. So now I'm going to show you how I make my simple syrup. The reason why I like making my own simple syrup is because when you put in granulated sugar into your cold brew, it just sits at the bottom and it doesn't melt. And then, when you drink it through your straw, all you get is like little granules of sugar. This is my favorite sugar that I like to use. It's organic turbinado sugar. And just from trial and error, this is just my favorite for my palate and what I like to use. So this is so easy. People literally, for some reason, are very surprised when they find out that I make my own simple syrup. And now you're gonna see how insanely easy it is. This is just regular water. I'm just pouring some sugar in. And then you just stir it until it melts. I tend to just tilt it like this because it's easier to stir it for some reason. I also like using non-stick pans when I'm making simple syrup because it's easier to clean up after. Simple syrup basically turns to caramel. So you want to make sure you don't overcook it. I've also made the mistake of leaving it on the stove too long and then I make caramel by accident. So see how all the sugar is totally melted. And then once I melt the first batch of sugar, I add in more granules just to intensify the sweetness. It also makes it a little thicker, which is nice. So again, you're just giving it a little gentle stir, melting the granules. And this sugar has this beautiful golden brown color, which I also really like. And you just do this for maybe a minute until all the granules are melted. Right now I have this on a medium-high heat. And the sugar melts really easily, so you don't need it to be super hot. So now I'm going to turn this off. And you want to let it cool for a few minutes before transferring it to a glass container. Okay, so here's the cooked simple syrup after it's been cooled for a little bit. And I always like to put things in glass containers, so I have my little glass container here. And we're just going to transfer it. This is your simple syrup. So now you're just going to cover this, and you're just going to put that in the fridge next to your cold brew. Now I'm going to show you how to put everything together. So this is the coffee that's been sitting on your counter overnight. You're going to pull out the stopper and then put it over your glass canister. This also comes with your toddy machine when you buy it. So then the coffee will filter through and fill up just like this. And then afterwards, just toss the coffee beans, rinse out the filter, and then put it in a Ziploc in your refrigerator. And then what's left is, this is your organic cold brew coffee. So ice cubes. I like using a little glass mason jar. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pour some coffee. And again, figure out, the different kind of measurements that work for you depending on what you like. In a previous video, I showed you how to make almond milk. So now just add whatever cream you like, almond milk, organic half and half, whatever you guys like. Simple syrup. Okay. And now, one of the things I like to do is give it a nice little shake. And it gets this great foam on the top, which I love. And here is your homemade organic cold brew. I hope you guys like it. Write in the comments below, ask any questions or suggestions, different things you might add to it, cinnamon, vanilla extract, whatever. Let me know. I love this stuff, and I'm so happy to share with you.